life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days.
Hello, we have much to discuss. It has been a while since my last podcast upload, and we're back. Not only are we back, are we here to stay? Are we? We are here to stay on the Real Life Adulting podcast, okay? And if you're wondering, which you probably aren't, but I'm going to tell you, you can also watch these on YouTube. So I just set up this little couch area, if you can see on YouTube, cute little lights right here, so we can feel like we're hanging out. Because I've been thinking about how lately I've been listening to just a ton of podcasts, whether it's the video or the audio, but I'll be cleaning my room, making dinner, whatever I'm doing, and the podcast that I'm really into right now, it feels like you're hanging out with someone, right? It feels like the person is just there, you're chilling, you're learning something, whatever. And that's always what I wanted my podcast to be, particularly for young people who are navigating adult life for the first time, whether you're 18 years old, heck, even 15-year-olds, right? Or whether you're 27 like me. Every year that you're growing up is your first time experiencing life at that age. So I want to be there for you when you're driving your car around town, getting to where you need to go, or making food, or moving into your first house or apartment. Whatever it is, it's always nice to know that there's somebody there. And that always made me feel really good. And so let's just get into it. We're going to get into the update, and then what am I doing with my legs? Hold up. And then moving forward, we have very hyper-specific content that's going to be in the form of shorter podcasts, very value forward. So you can take what you want, leave what you don't, but have actionable tips at the end of each podcast to improve your life in whatever the discussion is for that day, right? And that's what my whole brand and company is about. So for those who don't know me, hello, my name is Eden Gold. I'm a keynote speaker and founder of Life After High School. Life After High School is a company I founded in 2022, dedicated to helping young people navigate adult life. It's an online program, a 6-week online program, previously 10-week, but we're doing some fun launches and new updates for Life After High School. And I travel around nationally to schools, conferences, and stuff like that to teach young people about navigating transitional years, mental health, building self-confidence, that sort of thing. So more on all of that later, and if you want to get involved and learn more about what we have to offer. But for now, we're getting into a fun little life update. Okay, so the first thing to know is that I'm in a really happy relationship. I know, go me. We really tried. We really put ourselves out there for a long time, as I know many of you had. Growing up is so interesting because you're going through so many different experiences, and really what makes the world go round is human connection. And we find that in all sorts of ways. A lot of us at school, with our families, a lot of it is networking when we're at school or in a career, finding a job, friendships. But another part of that is your intimate relationships. And whatever you choose to do or wherever you're at in your journey of intimate relationships, you learn a lot. And I always say, like, every year I get older, I always think I was super dumb the year before, which is probably not the best self-talk, but what I mean by that is I have found that every single year in my 20s has been revolutionary in a way. I've just learned and grew so much. Like, even just a couple years ago, I was 23, 24, right? And if I look back at 23, 24-year-old Eden, she seems so small, so little. And, she had a lot of growing up to do still. And I'm probably going to look back when I'm 30 and think the same thing. Now, I'm going to be 30 in 2.5 years. So I guess that's a good place to start. If you're listening to this and you're kind of in that Saturn return era phase as well, where you're like 28 to 30, it comes with a lot of thoughts, a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions. For those who don't know what your Saturn return is, It's basically when you are born, Saturn is in a certain place in the atmosphere. Around the time between 28 and 30, usually it's 29 and a half, Saturn will return to the exact same place it was in the sky when you were born. And this can be associated for people who are into astrology, spirituality, things like that, with big life transitions, a lot of heavy emotions, kind of mourning the old you in this past decade that you were in, shedding old relationships that didn't serve you, putting you through really hard, challenging situations as it prepares you to enter into the next decade of your life. And my story has been no short of that. There's been a lot of chaos that has been happening in the past year alone, but I've also come a long way. Some of those things are I had vocal cord surgery last January. Some of you may know this. I had vocal polyps, blood blisters on my vocal cords. It affects a lot of singers, people who talk a lot, and your girl, she's out here talking a lot. And the surgery went really well, but what happened was I thought I was going to be out of work a lot longer than I was. And for those who don't know me very well, speaking is my passion. Standing up on stage, talking to all of the younger versions of myself and just teaching the lessons that I wish I had known growing up, now that I've built my confidence, now that I've built my business, et cetera, et cetera. Or teaching educators or parents how to better support students in their success, so we're not operating on the same model that education has been operating on for centuries, right? And I didn't know that my recovery was going to be so fast. So I completely stopped all business endeavors and I invested $10,000 into this program to do something different, something that didn't require talking. And also, for people who don't know me, I don't really buy a ton of name brand stuff. Like, I was never out here in high school buying the Miss Me jeans and buying like this or that or whatever. I basically just shopped at Plato's Closet because I didn't value clothes. But as I grew up, what I really love spending money on, and it's quite the expensive hobby, two things. One, health and wellness. I am very big on supplementation, health, wellness, skincare, biohacking, things like that. I don't share a ton about my health endeavors and being on this journey of non-toxic living because one, it's not my brand, but two, since I have absolutely no credentials, who am I to tell you what's bad for you and what's good for you? I certainly tell my friends and my boyfriend, even though they didn't ask. But that said, that's a personal endeavor, right? And an expensive one. Also, entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is my number one passion. My business is my baby. It is my child. And I just love what I do. I love being able to impact the lives of other people navigating their teenage years and their years in their 20s and making it a little more fun, a little less stressful, a little easier to navigate the things that we are not taught in school. But that's also come with, over the years, investing over $30,000 into my entrepreneurial education, mentors, coaching programs, memberships, all the things, conferences, in-person conferences, plane tickets, flights, all out of pocket to learn how to be an entrepreneur. Some were flops, some were not. And in my opinion, that was my version of a college education. I did go to college to be a vet, but I dropped out because I was too sick to continue, which is a conversation for another time. But all that to say, when I didn't think I could speak, and I was thinking it was going to be 6 months, a year, I didn't know. I invested into this program to learn how to, what's the word? Co-list properties on Airbnb, basically managing people's properties for them and then getting a commission from that. And I was like, I'm doing it. I put it all on a credit card, all the things. And long behold, that was my first experience really being in quite a bit of credit card debt. So I'm going to be telling you guys about a supplement company called Thesis. And for those who don't know about me,
I not only am psychotic when it comes to health, wellness, and as some call biohacking, but I'm really into non toxic living as well. So I rigorously test all of the supplements, skincare products, and everything that I use. And Thesis is a company that I continue to come back to for their quality supplements. Let me tell you exactly why I love them.
Thesis is a company that creates natural supplement formations to achieve particular goals. Thesis targets neurotransmitters and hormones tied to focus, learning, motivation, memory, stress resilience, and long-term brain health. Thesis enhances cognitive performance by modulating neurotransmitter production, reducing stress-related hormones, improving synaptic efficiency. Thesis conditions your mind for success by increasing mental adaptability, allowing you to push past genetic and environmental limitations. Day 1. Sharper focus and greater presence within 30 minutes of taking Thesis. Month 1. More frequent movements of flow, information retention increases, and procrastination decreases. Month 3. Sustained periods of flow state, greater decisiveness, content energy levels, and enhanced neuroplasticity to amplify your ability to tackle goals. Month 6. Your brain grows new neurons through neurogenesis to build stronger pathways for learning, motivation, and long-term cognitive health. The formulas are clarity, stress reset, motivation, and neuroprotection.
If you want to try it out for yourself, I have a 30% off code that's going to be in the show notes below. All right, let's get back into the show today.
The credit card debt was one of those experiences that just navigating, not being able to do the thing that I love, the thing that's bringing in money. And I'm also a volleyball coach as well. But not being able to do that, feeling really stressed out about high interest rates, which is also a conversation for another time. But it's very humbling. It's very humbling. And then to realize that I wasn't going to fully follow through. I did make money doing that, but there was no part of me that was passionate about it. I was like, this is pretty boring. I don't enjoy this. But then I recovered, which was great. I also transitioned away from van life. So I was a van lifer. I wanted to just try it, see what it was like. So I bought this motorhome. It was a small motorhome. Because I didn't want to invest like $100,000 into a fully off-grid like van. But I saw all these people like traveling and doing the thing. And where I messed up, this was 2 years ago, is I bought this motorhome and I was like, I'm doing the thing. And then I didn't go anywhere. I didn't do anything. I am not fully a remote worker. And so it didn't work out for me. It didn't work out for me. I actually hated it. And I see the people doing it online and it's really cool. My lifestyle did not fit that. I was actually pretty cold all the time. Like it would get so cold in this motorhome that the all-purpose cleaner would freeze. It was insanity. In the cold winters of Portland, there was a huge snowstorm the first year I lived in the van. Anyways, after 2 years, I moved to Portland. I moved into this little apartment, super cute, and it's exactly what I need as one person, right? It's super cute. I'll give you guys the tour sometime if you guys are interested in video and stuff like that. So there was that. There was ending a relationship that didn't serve me, a very short-lived one, but either way, it's hard to let people down and realize your truth when things don't work out. It is really hard. And we'll talk more about how hard it is to navigate any kind of relationship, friendships, relationships with coworkers, boss, intimate relationships, and the struggles that come with that people don't really talk about. But that was the thing. And then it was finding my current partner, which I'll share the story about that in the next, maybe not the next episode, but I wonder if I can get him in on a podcast episode. Oh, that would be so cool. He's so great. More on that later, but if you want a little bit of the inside scoop, you can follow me on Instagram at EdenGold_. A lot of changes, wondering if I have gotten far enough in my life to where I felt like I should have been before I turned 30, which I know is still a couple of years away. But there's a part of you that thinks like, have I done enough? Am I where I want to be? Or am I a failure? Have I failed because by the time I was 30, I would have expected myself to accomplish XYZ, right? So it's really about pushing you to become who you need to become, shedding things that don't serve you, all sorts of emotions. If you can relate to that experience at all, if you have been there in the past or are currently there, let me know in the comments down below. I'd be really interested to hear what kind of quote unquote maybe not even quote unquote life altering things that you've gone through as you entered into that next decade of your life. Now, I want to give you some updates as to what you can expect on the Real Life Adulting podcast moving forward, and I hope you're as excited as I am. So let me start by saying this. Have you ever watched a creator listen to a podcast, YouTube channel, whatever, then you kind of just went about your life and you didn't really think about them for a couple years or whatever, and then you came back to them and you're like, oh, they're still doing the thing. Like, that's cool. What are they up to? Like, you come back around and you see them still working hard, still crushing it. They're still inspiring. I've been doing that a little bit recently too. People like Kaylin Nicholson. She's this YouTuber that I used to watch back in, oh my gosh, like 2019. She would do these hauls and decorate with me for like Halloween, this and that. All kinds of stuff. And there was multiple people like that. And then I stopped listening to them for a couple years, and I came back around to watching some of their content just last night. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you have 2 kids now. This is so cool. What are you up to today? It almost feels like somebody that you know. And even if you haven't been directly following the journey, you're still kind of there and you're happy for them and you're excited. There's a lot of joy in sharing your life and your stories on the internet because people find it relatable, right? And they see themselves in it in a lot of ways. With the podcast, I haven't been doing that. And there's a part of that is making excuses and feeling like I'm too busy and this and that, which is true. I am very busy, especially as a solopreneur. I haven't hired anybody in my company yet. I hope too soon. It would be very nice to have an executive assistant. But after my surgery, it's about getting back on the grind and continuing to build on this foundation. It just made me think about how the people that I enjoy listening to and watching the most are the people who are consistent. And I understand that I haven't been, and that comes with some shame. And it also comes with some guilt because morally, it doesn't feel right for me to do that. There's been 2 speaking engagements. I had 2 speaking engagements last year. And at both of them, students came up to me and said, hey, I listened to your podcast. And that was just so heartwarming. It was so heartwarming. And to know that I stopped it when there's not a lot of resources for young people, sure, they're out there, but it doesn't make you feel very good. And I don't want to be that person. I want to be the person that you can always rely on and count on to be there. And that's what I'm committing to doing now. So that's what I wanted to preface. But moving forward, as I said previously, you're going to see videos every week, both video and audio. The video is going to be up on YouTube, and the audio is going to be wherever you listen to your podcasts, right? And we're going to go through a wide range of topics. Some of them will be personal, interwoven with lessons, valuable lessons, and educational content. Stories about my life, things that I've learned along the way. And then hyper-specific content related to what you guys want to know about, right? Career, finances, mental health, relationships, navigating the messy and the magical, not to be cliche, parts of adulthood, because it can be fun. And then life hacks, life tips, making your life easier, more fun, more enjoyable. We'll also talk about product recommendations, things that I love. If you guys are interested in really optimizing your life in your 20s, we can also talk about the non-toxic living journey that I'm on. There's a lot of directions we're going to go here. So if there's a podcast that resonates with you, take what you like, leave what you don't if it doesn't resonate with you, or it's not something that's really a top priority for you, right? We're also going to bring on some guests. I'm not quite sure who yet. I'm going to try and convince my boyfriend to come on so we can talk about our relationship and you guys can get the whole scoop and the story. But I'll see who really resonates and who I believe can share value with you. Now, if you are new here, the last season of the podcast, it was season 2, I did a lot of interviews with people in different career paths, professional industries. So you can learn from them and get a kind of a deeper dive into what different career paths are like. I recommend going and checking those out. Those are super cool. Learn about other people, right? But I'll wait to see what the theme of having a guest on would look like, because like I've heard some people say, like, it's hard to talk on a podcast alone. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how. Me? I love talking. I could chit chat with you guys all day. Obviously, as a speaker, I love talking and I have things to say. Now, I'd probably be more on point if I had some bullet points to go off of. I'm just winging it right now. But I could talk to you guys all day. I'm looking at myself in the camera. I'm looking at you, looking at me, looking at you. Hello, if you're watching on YouTube. So I'm not concerned about that. I want it to be valuable for you guys. And then outside of that, TikTok. I have free resources on my TikTok, on my Instagram. There's a bunch of ways to work with me, either through my Life After High School program, which is relaunching the 2.0 version. I am super excited. So more on that coming soon. If you're interested in that, let me know down below. You will also hear the launch of that on Instagram at EdenGold_ and Real Life Adulting Pod on Instagram. So I'm going to be sharing all of the fun adulting content, launches, updates, and stuff on the Real Life Adulting Podcast Instagram. And on my personal Instagram, it's going to be a lot more speaking and business and stuff like that. So if you want the tips, head to the podcast Instagram. So there's the program. There's products, digital products for sale. Hopefully physical products soon. Ways for us to coach together. You can bring me in to speak, whatever. We'll talk about all that later. But for now, that's kind of where we're going to lead this episode. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. So excited to have you here. Get ready for just a ton of fun, a ton of content, educational value. And my goal is pretty simple. It's to build the biggest, most awesome community of ambitious, engaged young people who want to make their life amazing. I want to create this movement where young people have a voice, they have a platform, and they have the resources that school never taught them. So that's all I have for today. I love you. Socials all are going to be down below, and I'll see you in the next one.
Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days.